7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The magician Sebastian K approaches the line. Guccio is coming late, and as they hit the wire, it's too close to call.
Now here's North American Harness Update on SRN1.
If the news cycle hasn't made your television explode, then goodness gracious, congratulations on still having a television. But better yet, why do you even have a television? Why do you have cable? Why aren't you on Hulu.com/Netflix actually watching quality television, if you even call it television? None of that's the matter. The real question is, where in the hell is Mark Judge? I don't care about that stuff. Welcome, everybody, back to the North American Harness Update. A long time since you've heard my voice. I'm, of course, caffeinated, and I'm going to bring in my two co-hosts for this evening's program. One of them you all know and love is Mr. Michael J. Prebozy, and the other one is always here for some reason. It's Rod Adams Jr. They're back here joining me. We're us all three. The three Mouseketeers are all back in action, in together. Well, not together technically, because the only binding force we have is the internet, the interwebs, for all of you digital spiders out there, bringing us together to talk about Grand Circuit action this weekend at the Red Mile. We got Bluegrass tonight, Bluegrass tomorrow, Bluegrass Sunday. It's almost like it's happening in a state known for its bluegrass. Now, Rod, I know you've been there, and you can attest to this. The grass is not necessarily bluer on the other side. All that said, I have with me a dictionary of American slang, and tonight's show I can only describe as tubular. Let's get things rolling. So how are you two doing? It's been a long time since we've been together. We've all kind of gone our separate ways. Mike, I know you're working on that novel you always wanted to write.
Right.
Yeah, and I assume it's going well.
I was thinking about, like, if you listen to that open, I think the only horse left out of all those that you announced was Spoil It Again.
Yeah.
The rest of them are all gone.
Unfortunately, they all got drafted into the great horse wars of the 20s.
I think it's time for a new open. Like, we need to do. I mean, I realize you're busy, but.
Well, I'll put that on my agenda alongside getting the Pope on the show. Of course, that should be more on Rod's side. Rod usually handles all of our guests and our business, and quite frankly, Rod, I think you're really lacking on our Catholic representation side. You really need to up your game on that. Especially, we don't have any Mormons. We need more Mormons on this show, Rod. Get to work on that. So as I said tonight, Rod's not going to get a single word in. I assume he's doing all right. Actually, no. Rod, I'm pretty sure if I ask how he's doing, he would just go, yeah.
Yep.
Yep, told you. That's exactly how he's doing. He's unfortunately degraded into grunts. His vocabulary is totally gone. We, of course, support the Allums family through these trying times. However, I finally have the yes man I always wanted in my life. Grand Circuit action, as I said, this weekend at the Red Mile, and we totally aren't covering the Red Mile live tonight just to give me an excuse to do this show and my job at the same time. I'm not that much of a sellout, because these are big races. Sure, we could cover the Dayton Derbies, but quite frankly, I don't care about them. I care about the Red Mile. The Red Mile is always one of the best meets in harness racing, sometimes for betting. If it doesn't chalk out, you can probably find some decent prices in these bluegrass stakes, as well as in these late closers that happen through the meeting. Last night, Bombs did really well. By Bombs, I mean long shots. Horses that are pretty high prices did very well last night, coming from towards the center of the track. The public, unfortunately, did not do so well. But, of course, we could really care less about $3 horses winning. We care about the $30 horses winning, because you make more money on those sometimes. We have 2-year-old fillies racing tonight at Lexington. 3 divisions still to go of Bluegrass. We'll be covering those live. I believe a late closer's up next. I am correct. The 7th race is a late closing event. We won't really...
Just so you know.
It does start at $10,000 guaranteed pick 4, but we aren't covering that. We can cover the race if we want. There's Gabe's ticket. I'm going to give out Gabe's ticket right now because Gabe's a cool guy. 7th race, he's 2-5. 8th race, 8-9. 9th race, 4-6. 10th race, 2-3-7. Hope you got all that down. I'm not repeating it. It's $24 for 50 cents in a $10,000 guaranteed pool. You, of course, could play along. Can't really help you with that unless Mike and Rod, you two have impromptu tickets. I don't. I know I don't.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, $10,000 guaranteed pool for if that interests you. We're going to be focusing more on the vertical side with those races, and then we'll be previewing the Bluegrass for Saturday, 2-year-old Colt Pacers, and then one division for 3-year-old Philly Pacers on Saturday. Then Sunday we have all 3-year-olds in Bluegrass, 3 divisions of the Philly Trot, 2 divisions of the Colt Pace, and 2 divisions of the Colt Trot. Now, we can always start rolling into some of the Saturday action because we have 7 minutes till post time for this 7th race. Or we could also talk about the 7th race if we want to. I don't really care. I'm going to leave it because this is a democracy, at least it should be. Mike and Rod, I'm going to put this up to a cabinet vote. Shall we talk about this 7th race or move on to some of the races for tomorrow evening?
Let's do
I think there should be an FBI investigation before we decide what we're going to do.
Bam! 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 You got him, Mike. That was you nailed him. You nailed him right there. Rod, if only you could be as suave as Mike was there.
Yeah, I just say we go to the 7th.
Sorry, Mike. We can't delay this show for a week. We got to get going into.
Okay.
We got to get going into the action tonight.
Thankful.
Where the hell is Mark Judge? The 7th race has 6 horses going postward. Scratch the 1, Great Explorer. My guess is the horse just got lost. There's, again, 6 horses going postward here. We got a 9-5 favorite in the 2, Memo. God, you just can't get away from the politics, can you? Second choice then, 2-1, or not 2-1 rather. 5-2 on the 3, Summit in Sight, and then the 5, High Into the Sky. First things first, I'm seeing this as a short field, and there's only 2 horses that are double-digit odds. Mike, as a better than me, what do you have any kind of strategies you go about when you have a short field like this? Because it seems kind of hard to make money when a lot of the horses aren't paying much.
Well, but the thing is if you look at the board, you have 4 horses between 2-1 and 3.5-1. So if you like one of those, my personal opinion is you should just bet that horse. So if you think 2-1 is value, say 2-1 is value on the 2 horse, make a decent win bet on the 2 horse. I mean that's you don't have to necessarily get too clever, especially if you like one of those particular horses that are all being bet fairly evenly. Then I don't mind. Taking a shot with the horse that I like. The last race, just as an example, I liked, 0 tolerance a little bit in the race. The horse ended up 9-5, and I felt that was value on that horse in that particular race, and I just bet the horse. I didn't get clever. And in the same sense here, I think 3-1 is value on the 5 horse. This horse, prior to the final where it broke, no chance, was racing well. 2 seconds in those Kentucky Sire Stakes, close up to the front. And, the only reason that the horse is 3-1 in the race is, for driver purposes. I mean, they're betting Gingras, Andy Miller, David Miller on those other horses. This horse has been here, has been racing well, and I feel like has a legitimate chance to win the race, and you're getting inflated odds. So that would be my strategy. And also, I like to play Maltese. I would probably, I would think that the Maltese play well here because of the money so distributed evenly.
And it definitely seems like Memo's taking play both for connections and also for class. Although 9-5 seems a little low for a horse dropping out of the Kentucky Sire Stakes and getting a massive post switch. Had post 10 in the final, has post 1 here now with the scratch of Great Explorer. Does that necessarily concern you? Do you think that maybe the public doesn't... Well, the public clearly doesn't like this horse as much as they should, but do you think that this horse should be taking more money?
No.
I would think more. Don't you?
No.
Okay, Rod, tell us why.
Yeah, you are getting a big post shift, but at the same time, you're not in against anything of really a lesser competition. I mean, the 5 High Into the Sky is a stablemate, is obviously the better horse. in my opinion.
I think so too. I do too.
And, Kruger had his choice of the 2 or the 5 here. He took the 5. I mean, take the value.
You sure
play.
Jinko didn't have the choice?
You got to take the value in this race because the 5 right now is the value play, especially at 3-1 or 7-2 now. I mean,
the three's a bit of an enigma in the race though, because the horse has one start. They started in a stake, and the horse was bet to 7-5 and raced pretty well. I mean, got beat a half length, and now comes here. So the horse is very well bred.
Second off the layoff, I expect that horse to be okay. I don't know.
I mean, they paid $300,000 for it. I would hope so.
Yeah, I don't know if the horse can necessarily win this race just because he might need another start. And
he might, but he's like I said, he's an enigma. I would rather take the 5-1 and the 5 than 3-1 and the 3. But it's just the horse could be good enough to win this race.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think you have to respect that.
I think it's interesting that the betting board is really evened out now, because I was kind of looking at Amador as a potential outsider, being 10-1, but now it's 5-1, and that seems like a much lower price than I necessarily want. I'm looking at these exactas though, and they aren't necessarily terrible. Like if I want a 2-6 exacta, $28 for 2 isn't that bad, especially with the 2 being the favorite, the 6 being.
Why is the 7 taking money? Why is the 7 taking a nickel in the race? I want to know.
Let's figure this out. Okay, so this is his 3rd start career. Dwayne Miner comes in with a horse who qualified in 203 and 2. None of these are really answers to your question. Was the favorite last out at Pocono, but he broke. Pass. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't like it at all.
I feel like my one conjecture would be that people are betting him purely on the Red Mile bounce angle, where people hope a horse will get better just because it's the Red Mile. And I mean, there's usually patterns you can see in a horse's performances that would signal this track.
I will say, though, that I do think that this track, there are some horses that really like it. And, you have to pay attention to that. As opposed to other places, horses have a definite affinity for this track, and if you're aware of that, you can still catch prices, especially coming in, and maybe they haven't been racing so well at other places. But I do feel that liking this racetrack is a distinct advantage here. I really do.
And I feel if you can read a program, that probably helps you just as much. Amador,
no, it's true, though. I think horses do, there are some horses that do very well at this racetrack. I don't know if it's the surface, but it's, it's a definite angle for me. I don't know what you think, Rod.
That seems like an angle you usually apply to any track, though.
But I feel like it's more because this is such a boutique type meet racetrack type thing that I feel like that it's more pertinent here than it is other places. That's just my opinion.
I can tell it's just if you're giving anyone else's opinion through your mouth, I'd be questioning why you're the liaison of someone else's thoughts. Amador is 8-1 now, though. I like that. I like that he's going up. There's nothing necessarily wrong with this horse coming out of the Kentucky Sire Stakes Consolations. I like the fact most that as a 2-year-old, this horse has improved with each start over the surface, coming in off that 3rd place finish, kicking him in 27 and change. Sure, they kind of went slow for the first half, so you'd expect them to come home faster, but this horse was still gaining ground into a final quarter sprint, and that's not something to overlook at all, especially on this track, and especially, too, since horses have been doing well from off the pace, assuming they go a little fast on the lead, because, I mean, even though we've seen horses coming from towards the center of the track for the last 2 days, and with some of the races tonight even, you still kind of need a setup in order for the supposed bias to actually get into play. And now, as I say, that Amador is 6-1. The 3 taking so much money is weird to me. I did not really like the 3, although second start I could see. But the Millers haven't really had too many good horses so far. It's only the 2nd day, though, so it can change.
Well, Matt's Hall will be there tomorrow.
And even then, we'll see if he can win. All right, so the Gates moving into position for the 7th race. Final thoughts. I'm still on Amador. I'd probably just be going with him to win. Mike?
I punched an exact, actually. I do like the 5, but I played a little 3, 5, 6.
All right. Rod, then.
I'm probably keying the 5 first and second with, it's tough, but I would probably just play the 5 with the 2, 3. I would throw the 6 on in a try.
Okay, Rod uses all of them. They're going to the gate for the 7th race. It's the...
Are we back on Blowbird or whatever that was?
Blobbert, yes.
What is it?
Blobbert's
Blobbert.
broadcasting system.
The Blobber's broadcasting system, of course, our sister company to NAHU Picks. Field of 6. All in line for the 7th. The Red Mile. In motion and approaching the start. Night Hall gaps the gate a touch. And they're off and trotting high into the sky. Show speed to the center. Bully Boy to his inside also leaves out Memo. Towards the rail protects position with Summit in sight too. They're 4 wide around that first turn. Bully Boy trying to take the top as Memo shoots through the inside and take a narrow lead. Summit in sight's away 3rd. High into the sky, parked out 4th with Night Hall getting away to the inside, or rather Amador to the inside, and Night Hall trailing this field early on. Andy Miller pulls out a 3rd with Summit in sight. Moves on to Brush to the lead as Bully Boy yields for the pocket past a 29-second opening quarter. High into the sky. Left uncovered now to 3/8. Moves up to 3rd, 2.5 lengths off the lead and gradually advances towards the front. Memo is back 4th, then ahead of Amador 5th. About 4.5 lengths off this contested pace. Night Hall then still the trailer of this field of 6. Going to the half mile. And Summit in sight drifts off the rail. Goes off stride. Carries high into the sky. 3 wide, but high into the sky now clears control through a 57 1/2. 28 1 second quarter, the tempo quickened around that far turn. Amador made a break too, so it's high into the sky around the far turn. Bully Boy sits the pocket. Memo is 3rd. Night Hall begins to gain ground to the inside. He's inherited the 4th spot with Summit in sight and Amador the breakers trailing this field to 3/4. Memo's out from 3rd, chasing after high into the sky to 3/4. Bully Boy's locked in 1:27 2, a 30 1. 3rd panel into the stretch now. It's high into the sky, leading the way. Memo to the outside, trying to reel him in. Bully Boy looks for room to the inside. Is high into the sky, does drift a touch, but there's no seam yet with an 8 to go. High into the sky, and Kruger leading Memo his stablemate to the outside, but only by a half length. As here comes Memo trying to lunge by to the 8th pole. Memo and high into the sky. It's Memo getting by. Memo to win by a neck from high into the sky. Bully Boy 3rd. Summit in sight recovered to take 4th in 1:56 3.
Absolute brutal drive on the 5. Just brutal.
Absolute brutal drive on the 6. Couldn't even keep him on gate.
Well, the 3 took him with him. Watch the replay. That had nothing to do with the 6. I mean, it was the 3 took out half the field in the race.
That race was piss on ice. Why is that the first page I open up to? Well, it's the second page technically. This is an actual dictionary on American slang. I can't believe they make those. Well, they don't make them anymore. It's probably from like 1974. I haven't heard anyone say piss on ice ever in my life. I'm not really sure how much slang that is then. 56 3. You had 7 to 5 over 5 to 1 over 7 to 2 over 2 to 1. That exacto was probably like $10. Still made 1.2. Yep. 2-5, 4-3 in the 7th at the Red Mile. We can start talking about Saturday's action then. We'll come back with prices from the 7th at Lexington, but Saturday also features Grand Circuit action with 2-year-old Colt Pacers going in with the Western Ideal. I knew it was the Western Ideal, but
Tell us.
What race am I on?
Yeah, because I mean, there's a bunch of these, So just tell us what race you're starting with.
Well, I was gonna say
I gotta keep flipping through programs because you keep changing days. So,
well, next Tuesday at Harrington, there is a bunch of stakes we're also going to talk about. But before we get to that, Monday afternoon at the Meadows, features a pick 4 carryover.
That we're not doing.
Later in the show, but for now, Saturday at the Red Mile, 2-year-old Colt Pacers. I only talked about Saturdays. I don't know why you're flipping through programs, Rod.
Because I was on Friday's program.
Yeah, we were still looking at Friday.
Oh, well, I started talking about Saturdays. Get with it, people. Saturday at the Red Mile.
What race?
Usually, when Jimmy Fallon comes out, I know I don't like Jimmy Fallon. When Jimmy Fallon comes out and he says, "Our first guest is someone," no one in the audience shouts, "Who is it?" Because he's gonna say it. He's gonna get to it. Let the host carry you through the parable, carry you through the mud. A third metaphor. The first race on Saturday night at the Red Mile is the opening division of the Western Ideal. There's 5 divisions. I'm pretty sure the 2-year-old Colt Pace, total $367,000 in purses. First race has a field of 8 going postward with Captain Trevor to the inside, a son of Captain Treacherous leading the way, winning 4 races and 5 starts, finishing 3rd in the Kentucky Sire Stakes as the 2-1 favorite. He draws the inside. He's the horse to beat, but we also have some Grand Circuit shippers in the 3. Lions Nighthawk finished 4th in the Metro Pace, coming from off the pace, kicking him in 27 flat, the Jeff Gillis trainee.
You have to call him Nighthawk.
Wait, why are you talking about IHOP? Can I preview a field?
I said you have to call him Nighthawk.
He's Lions Nighthawk.
You have to call him Nighthawk.
Lions Night Rider's the 3 horse, and then there's the rest of the field. You got 8 horses going postward. Captain Trevor appears the fastest of all of them, but it seems like time and time again, these horses that look fast, but they're also beatable. Contrary, they look fast, and they are fast. So that's catch-22 sometimes. Is he a favorite, though, worth trying to beat? It's a question we always ask.
Yes.
Okay, Mike, I'm on board with you. I got a couple outside contenders.
I like the horses coming out of the Metro. I mean, that was a very fast race with very good horses. I feel like this horse has faced very nice ones. Bronx Sister, Captain Ahab, several times. Stag Party's an absolute monster. This horse had no chance in that race. Got away 9th, 17 back, closed up 27 flat to be 4th. Whenever the winner had completely flown away. This horse, has decent lines against legitimate horses. He's made almost 100,000. Likes the big track. He's auto used for me. The other horse, Buddy Hill, comes out of the Metro also. Very similar trip in that race. Just couldn't close up. Ended up 6th. But prior to that, faced Stag Party and Neil M. This horse was facing New York Sire Stakes, so he might not have the same kind of class. But I like the connections. I like McNair. I would use both of those horses. I like them both.
I definitely feel Lions Nighthawk is the stronger of the 2, but also any person with a glass eye can see the Lions Nighthawk is the better horse. Rod, though, I know you have a tendency to chalk out when you see a fast horse, because I bet you're envisioning, boy, oh boy, how I'd love to sit behind that one.
No, I like Lions Nighthawk here. I think he's in good form, especially coming off that last race. He raced well in the elimination for the Metro, I thought, first over. In the final, he just had no chance to win. They went too slow up front for him to catch a bunch of horses, and he still passed a bunch down the stretch. So, coming off that race, he's going to be very tough in here. Rock Candy, I think, is kind of the outlier that I honestly think you're probably going to get closer to 6-1 on this horse. Because the one
51 at 3 Mile?
Yes,
really?
Yes. Because
that track is really fast, though.
Captain Trevor is going to take a ton of money because 1, it's Alanya, 2, it's McCarthy, 3, he's got the rail, and 4, he's been racing at the Red Mile, and he's coming off a 150 flat mile, so he's going to take a ton of money here. Lions Nighthawk, I think, takes a little bit. And the other one I think that's going to take a little bit more money than people are going to expect is going to be the 6, Dancing Lou. He's not going to be 12-1. He'll probably be closer to like 8-1, I think. But he's got a sneaky line that last time. Had the 10 hole, you toss that out. He raced very well from where he was at. I think this horse could be sneaky if they go fast up front. He needs some pace to be chasing, but if you like playing the long shots underneath, that's the long shot to play here. But my top choice, obviously, is going to be Lions Nighthawk off that last race in the Metro.
Au contraire. Rock Candy, I feel is going to take more money than you think, Rod. Moving to the bigger track, the fact Brian Brown's been doing really well so far this meet, and with an inside post, Captain Trevor could be 6-5, and this horse could be like 3-1. I don't see Lions Nighthawk being this. Well, Lions Nighthawk's probably be close to Rock Candy. Those two might probably be in similar spots betting wise. I was interested in the 7, Sugar Factory, and I understand it's kind of like handicapping 101 to be cautious of a Cancelliere horse, or Cancelliere horse, however you pronounce it. But this horse has some decent miles on the Pennsylvania circuit, was racing very well in the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes early on, has some decent miles over at Pocono Downs, and sometimes when you see horses do well over that surface, that translates very well to the Red Mile. There were a couple last night that had similar angles in the 2-year-old colt trots that ended up winning at big prices. And this one seems like another, at least possibly, that could go along those lines. The Son of Sweet Lou comes off the second place finish as the odds-on favorite in a division of the Liberty Bell over at Harrah's, Philadelphia. This horse takes money, clearly is live in almost every start. And to me, you toss his race in the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes Championship from that outside post. He's been very consistent in almost every other start and has the speed to get off the gate, get close to the lead. Is probably going to get ignored, too, because he doesn't have the class of, say, a Captain Trevor or a Lions Nighthawk.
I don't mind him. He's okay. I mean, he's going to need to perhaps get a pocket-type trip to, I think, contend late, but he could certainly hit the board. I just don't know if he's quite good enough. But I like him a little better than the inside, too, so I don't mind him. He's okay.
I just with the Red Mile, sometimes class has to come second. I mean, it definitely helps handicapping when you're trying to figure out which horses are the better contenders, but sometimes it just comes down to trip and form. A horse could be coming out of the Stallion Series and top every horse from the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes. That's sometimes how it goes, and sometimes you gotta take chances and toss the horse that looks like the clear best, because there's horses improving into the race that sometimes are worth more. But of course, that's kind of like a universal thing with me, if anyone follows me. And if you are following me, I do carry blunt objects to which I will beat you with. The next division is the 4th race. Okay, no one's behind me. Second division of the Western Ideal. We have another Brian Brown horse in proof. This one beat De Los Cielos Deo, who was at one point the top 2-year-old colt pacer in the country before Grand Circuit season started, that is. Proof won the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes Championship from post 7 off a pocket trip at 16-1 and 151 over at the Meadows. Followed that with a win in the Elevation Stakes as the 1-9 favorite in 152, and is in against a bunch of other horses. You got some horses coming from the Metro, some from the Kentucky Sire Stakes. But Proof seems like a horse that's going to be close to odds on favoritism. That I still feel is beatable under the right circumstance.
Yeah, he is beatable, but he's going to be tough. He's right there every single week. 7 starts, 5 wins, 2 seconds. I mean, he's top 2 every start. He's made over $250,000 already this year. He's winning the big races. He's got that get when he needs to have it, and he seems to be in the best form that he's going to be in right now. Tough to beat, but first time on the mile track, he raced at Hoosier, raced very well. He made 2 moves in that race to win. So if he repeats that performance, I don't think they beat him. But if you're looking for an outside contender here, the 5 American Mercury with Brian Sears. He's been sharp recently. 5 starts, he's hit the board all 5 times. He was in that consolation of the Sire Stakes last time. Just got beat in there with Dubé driving. This is first time Sears. I think this is a horse that maybe he would really get along with, and I think that's why Chris Oakes put him up. This just seems like his type of horse that maybe he kind of just floats off the gate with him. He sits there, follows some cover, and he's got that late kick where he can go buy some horses late. And if he's coming up second over, which I think he could do, he's going to be dangerous.
Neglect the fact, too, that Sears drives for Oaks frequently. But
he doesn't
Mike,
drive this
for
horse.
For you, I don't disagree with you on American Mercury. He's one of the horses I marked as a contender, especially since he's going to have an inflated price, assuming Proof does take a lot of money. But there's one other that I was really interested in. I'm wondering if Mike will even touch on it.
I like two horses. Of course, I like the 6. Very similar reasons from the first race. Basically, he looks like the same as they do. And, he probably needs a trip, there's no doubt. But I just feel like he's getting away from better types. The other one I like is the 4, and that's Lieutenant. It's Burke, Kakele. This horse raced well last time against Proof. He's still over 4, but the last 4 he's raced, he's had 4 seconds. He's kicking home nicely. I like the big track. I feel like the horse could get a trip in the race because it does show tactical speed, and some of these other ones don't necessarily do that. He could end up in the pocket behind the 2 and maybe, shake clear late. So I would be 4-6 for prices there.
I don't necessarily like Lieutenant just because he already lost to Proof. That doesn't necessarily bode well for me in terms of horses that can upset. The horse I'm interested in, aside from American Mercury, Yacht Week, post 1. Look at his last 8 starts. 9, 8, 4, 5, 6, 6, 6. Last out in the Kentucky Sire Stakes Consolation, this horse flew home in 27 flat to finish 4th, and was racing decently in the Kentucky Sire Stakes prelims, finished 3rd, 5th, 4th. Of course, just didn't have enough points to get into the final. I mean, Proof's going to be a tough horse, but this guy from the Stafford Lynn barn usually kicks home strongly, and if you're going to beat a horse like Proof, you need to have a strong late kick. This horse has the rail, is most likely going to be positioned close, because if you have the rail and you are positioned close, quite frankly, you're not going to win a lot of the times. You can still win, but just not a lot of the times. Yacht Week has an advantage this time around, especially off the post switch. Maybe that'll take him money, but hopefully the fact that Christian Linden is the bike will make people go, who the hell's this kid? And then they won't bet him, which, I mean, quite frankly, works better for me because he can win a race like any other guy. You guys sound like you're in total disagreement. You're going, he's gone for 3 weeks. Does he even know what a horse looks like anymore? I'm concerned for him. Should we get his hernia checked out?
I'm just not necessarily a fan of the 1. I just feel like, the horse is just cheap compared, the 2's made $272,000, the 1's made $20. I mean,
what did I say?
Sorry.
What did I say earlier, though? Sometimes you have to neglect class.
That's fine. You can neglect whatever the hell you want. This horse was 105-1.
Go for those hood rats.
I'm sorry, Ron. For as loud as you shouted, it just was not loud enough to be coherent.
I said go for them hood rats. Neglect class and go for the hood rats.
Well played.
Sometimes
2 minutes to the 8 for tonight. Are we going back there, or
yes.
are we just going to ignore those? What are we doing?
Sometimes you guys make alcoholism seem like a good idea. This next race at the Red Mile is another division of the Norman Woolworth Memorial 2-year-old filly trot. We will go back to it. It's the 8th race, which is coming up in 2 minutes. We have a 5-2 favorite in the 9 special honor, now down to 2-1. This horse now up to 5-2. This horse, if you remember, pulled off an upset in the Jim Doherty Memorial elimination. However, outside post, can't say I'm a fan of that.
The 8 and the 9 look like the class in there. The 8's coming off a break, but that was at Yonkers, and the 8-hole completely pitched that out, and then had the 7-hole at Saratoga, 2 back, no shot. Crushed at Vernon, 3 back. This horse likes a big track and is the class in the race. Should be bet more than she is right now. I think she has a very good chance to win. 9-2. That's a good price.
I agree. I'll throw another a decent price on there anyway. Let me look. You're not getting any odds right now, unfortunately. But
what do you mean? All these horses have odds. What are you talking about?
You're not getting any. You're not getting any value on the horse that I like here a little bit. I agree with Mike. The 8 is the horse I like most in this race. The 9 definitely plays. Obviously going to be a short price, but the 2, Jezzy's Legacy, Has a braking issue a little bit, but I think has enough speed. Should take to the big track, race over at the Meadowlands a couple starts, and race just way over her head. I mean, it was a ridiculous idea to put her in those races, but she's good enough. She seems to be coming back into form, and I like her chances if she could sit up close and just follow the best horses in the race. The only problem is, if she goes early, how far does she get shuffled? That's my only concern here. But she's 7-2 right now. Should keep drifting up. You're probably going to get closer to like 6-1 at post time. Decent value play from the inside.
I find Sirocco Donahill a bit interesting. This horse made her first start after barely being able to walk. Was galloping almost every start. Then racing the Liberty Bell. Basically was just gone on the lead. Led by 7-8 lengths. Put up fast fractions for a 2-year-old filly trotter. And then, of course, didn't come home fast in the stretch because she went too fast early on. There's only so much fast you can go in a race, and she clearly just used it all up too early. Now 11-1, second start off the layoff. If she's more well-mannered, 11-1 doesn't seem like that bad a price. She has the speed, it's just she needs to utilize it better. Now she's 6-1. What do I know anymore? It's Dodge.
Yeah.
Jeez, who hammered her? Who are you? Want your
That's
name?
probably you. You put your $2 in, what?
Yeah.
Wow, way to insult the Red Mile. There's only $20 in the win pool. One of the biggest meets of the year in harness racing. Whoa, wait.
Oh, there's
I like
22.
11-1.
I was more insulting you.
Yeah, well, I work in show business. The way you intend an insult's never the way it's taken.
There's $2,500 in the win pool if you're interested.
Yeah, and that's about how much my loans cost this semester. This race is going to gate soon. By soon, I mean now. The wings are open. 8-5 favorite to 9 special honor. Second choice then at 4-1, the 8 Hannah Dream Girl. Then at 5-1, Jesse's Legacy. 5-1 on Sirocco Donahill. 5-1 on Princess Deo. Princess Deo at 5-1 is much better than the 3 at 5-1. I'll give him that.
Mm-hmm.
This horse, moving back to the bigger track, made a break over at Freehold, but make a break at Freehold, just toss that race, especially if you're a 2-year-old trotter. Tight don't are the enemy, just as dehydration. Keep up on your fluids, folks, because this field's going to gate. Oh no! Don't spill water. Be a professionals. All right. Field 9. All in line and in motion for the 3rd division of the Norman Woolworth Memorial. Person, $93,000 on the line, and they're approaching the start. Away and trotting with Anna Dream Girl showing speed. Sirocco Donahill leaves 2 from the inside. Princess Deo tries to float out for position, and Matter of Fact shows speed as well. Around that first turn, Sirocco Donahill moves to the top. Princess Deo up to take 2nd, with Hannah Dream Girl parked out 3rd. Matter of Fact away 4th. Jesse's Legacy's 5th, then ahead of Fade Into You 6th. Special Honor gets away 7th, then it's back to Pure Chance and Paper Fans in the back of the pack. Hannah Dream Girl moves to the top through a 28-second opening quarter, giving Sirocco Donahill the pocket. Princess Deo's 3rd, then as they move on to the 3/8 pole. Matter of Fact stalks them from 4th. Fade Into You's trying to pull out and flush covers. They go into that half-mile station. Behind that one, Special Honor, then it's still back to Pure Chance and Paper Fans. Here comes a move out of 5th. From Jesse's Legacy, and Schnitger's moving first over after the leader, Hannah Dream Girl to the half-mile. Sirocco Donahill about a length and a half back in 2nd, 57-2 the halftime, 29-2 that second quarter. Jesse's Legacy now up to 3rd as they move on to the far turn. Fade Into You on that cover 2nd over. Shuffled back then Princess Deo, Special Honors 3rd over in that flow. Matter of Fact to the inside is 3rd to last, with Pure Chance moving up to be the penultimate, and Paper Fans off the rail but gapping a touch as they go on to 3/4. quarters. Jezzy's Legacy inches closer to Hannah Dream Girl, whose lead is only a neck. Sirocco Donahill locked in the pocket as Fade Into You draws closer. Special Honor to only 2.5 lengths off the lead. 3 quarters in 1:27 and 1, 29 and 4 the third quarter. The rail is open, but Hannah Dream Girl still on top as they move through the lane. Jezzy's Legacy to the outside, trying to get by. Here comes Princess Deo shooting through a gap, and Princess Deo is swerved into command. Center of the track, then Fade Into You. Deeper Special Honor. Princess Deo a narrow lead. Special Honor's lunging late, but Princess Deo's extended and wins by a half length in the end from Special Honor. Fade Into You. Didn't I say? Well, Rod's a 3-year-old. Right before they go to the gate, Princess Deo 5-1, the better price. Look at that. You get 7-1 then at the gate.
And the money came from the outside, too. The front end is pretty tough to win on right now there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it kind of seems like it.
5-8. 4, 9, 5, 8. They went 28, 57 and 2. I'm not multitasking right now. 127 and 1 to 3 quarters. Final time 155 and 1. I'm still waiting for the call. Hey Ray, you want to call the races at the Red Mile? We'll pay you $20 million. $20 million? That's more than Warner Brothers paid for my pilot. And then they'd go, what are you doing in racing then? I say, I don't know. My show's going to be garbage anyway. It's going to be about like 2 teenagers smoking pot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's never been done.
Junk.
495. I know. That's why I got paid so much money to write it. Oh, and then they fall in love. Oh, come on. Everything's falling. Nothing's coming up Millhouse except right here. 7-1 winner. Unfortunately, I wish I would have been more attuned to that value before they went to the gate just a little bit sooner. I feel that was the one issue on my part, but I was looking in the right direction at the very least.
You're multitasking.
That's true. Dare I say, troll-tasking. That's doing 3 things at once.
Wow.
No,
4-9, 5-8, 7-1, 6-5, 9-1, 5-2. They say that Dream Girl stayed flat. That seemed kind of like that was the prerogative for that mile. If I had to guess.
No, I thought he was very aggressive with that horse, but I mean, he tried to steal a couple lengths off the turn. She just couldn't hang. I mean, she just, the front end is definitely not the place to be at all, from what I can tell.
And you know what they say? When it rains, the front end stinks. That's what a lot of people say.
It's not always true.
That's what they say. You know they're like that. As Princess Deo moves back to the winner's circle. That said, we can wait for prices. Or move on to the next. I forget if we were done talking about that division of the Western Ideal.
Yeah, we were.
Oh yeah, I said Yacht Week. You both said, what are you talking about? Why are you even on this show anymore? And I went for the money and the chicks. The next division, the third division.
Someone say chicken?
What? No.
What?
Someone said chicken.
Rod, it's 9:40 at night.
I like turtles.
Rod, it's 9:40 at night. Get your mind out of the clucker.
I like turtles.
We really appeal to that 12-year-old audience.
I'm completely exhausted. Can anybody tell?
I relate to that. I'm caffeinated, but by the second hour, I think I'm going to be doing sleep talking. Here's the prices. Here are the prices. 16 to win on Princess Deo, 7 to place, 480 to show. Special honor, $3 280, and the 5 paid into $720. $2 exactly. That's not bad. 4.9, 54.20. Dollar trifecta, 4.95, $130 even. That 20-cent superfecta, 4.958 gets you 124.80.
That's an excellent super there for those 4 horses.
9th race is coming up in 13 minutes. We'll get to that in a little bit. We're going to talk more about this 3rd division of the Western Ideal on Saturday.
Hold on, we gotta get some shout outs to people that are watching. Dan Helfer, buddy of mine. Tyler Price.
What's up, man? Kyle Price, what's up, man?
Eric Tharps.
Eric Tharps, what's up, man?
Tom Kelly, Joey Billings.
Tom Kelly, Joey Billings. Is that the same person? Is that one guy or two?
No,
It's
Mark
really
Anderson.
it's
Mark
one
Anderson.
guy.
Mark Anderson gave us a late double at the Red Mile, 6-7 with the 210.
Seven with the 210. Bop,
He's
bop.
good.
7 with the 210. Bop, bop. What is that?
Submitted.
7 with the 210. He's got, wait, use my scroll wheel. Yeah, dope. He's got Cruz in the first leg. And in the second leg, he's got Whispering Oaks and Cloud9 Fashion.
Shout out to
at
Terry
Price.
Wilson. Terry Wilson, buddy, from Western Fair from Canada.
Hey,
Hope you're doing
Excited for Western Fair to start.
Monday, opening day at Western Fair. Don't miss it. Big time. We're back at London. Terry Wilson will be
Rod,
there
can
too.
you make yourself seem any older?
That's a cool thing.
No, you know what's a cool thing, Rod? Hating yourself.
No.
Mike, you're so removed. You're so removed from the culture. I am unfortunately integrated into it, and that's the part I loathe the most. But so long as I profit off it. Any more shout outs? Terry Wilson, what's up, man? I didn't give him a what's up, man. I didn't want to make him seem like I left him out. But we're leaving out a bunch of other people because Rod's just choosing not to read their names. But there's also probably just so many names that we'd be here for 3 hours to read them all.
There is quite a few names. I can't get all the names in. Sorry if I missed
We're-
it.
we're-
If you want me to shout you out on TV, we can do that. You have to download our app on Amazon Fire TV.
There you go.
And then after you do that, send your credit card number to 1-800-65. I shouldn't give out a real number.
Yeah, don't do
also
that.
do that either. I was close to giving out a real number. The question is, I should start giving out real 800 numbers, but not know they're real. Like, because if you put 1-800 not a 555 for the area code, it's presumably a real number. I'm just curious if I start doing that as a bit and people start calling them, what kind of companies I inadvertently shout out. But at the same time, that could put me in a lot of trouble. Dude,
Yeah.
do offensive groups have 800 numbers?
Don't know.
We move on.
Anybody watching right now, if you have the score of the Brewers game, please comment. Let me know on Facebook.
Nobody cares.
I do.
Done.
You see this hat right here? I can't really read it that well, but I think it says World Champions.
Yeah, you see, Rod's got his mind on everything but doing a show. It's kind of like when I get on stage and people are just shouting at me and they're laughing. Their guts are literally bursting out of their stomach because they're just dying. I'm killing quite literally. Then they're just shouting at me, and then I'm up on stage and I'm just thinking about what am I gonna have for dinner.
I think that all day long.
You shouldn't be thinking that after you had dinner.
I'm just thinking about the late pick 4 at Woodbine.
Mike, you have too many numbers on your mind.
Well, we've got race 6 for tomorrow night.
Yeah,
At the
I
Red
tried
Mile.
to talk about, but then Rod's like, let's do more good business. And I'm trying to tell him, no, I want to be a bad business. I don't want to do good. Air Force Hanover is another Brian Brown trainee leading a division of the Western Ideal. This is the 3rd division, race number 6, tomorrow night at the Red Mile. Air Force Hanover, the morning line favorite, off a 2nd place finish in the Standardbred Stakes over at the Delaware County Fair, paced in 1:50.4. And I'm not talking like this to make myself sound like Patrick Warburton. I just had some gas coming up, and there it went. Also in here is a Waterway. This horse won the Kentucky Sire Stakes consolation in 1:50.1. I'm just going to say it right now. This horse is a major contender. Assuming Air Force Hanover takes a lot of money, or if Waterway ends up being 2-1, I might end up saying, you know what, 2-1 on Waterway, not a bad price. Thoughts? I got nothing else to say to that.
Yeah, if you can get 2-1, 5-2 area on Waterway, that's definite value. Coming off that win, first over win nonetheless there last time at the Red Mile in the consolation. It was a big race out of him. I mean, he raced extremely well to come first over the way he did to win, and he never faded. He never quit. I mean, he was game all the way to the wire. So I'm really encouraged off that last race. He seems to be in top form right now. He's going to be very tough. But like you said, 2 Air Force Hanover is going to take money. He's going to be the likely favorite. Another one from the Brian Brown barn.
Brian Bound, one of our sponsors, the Brian Bound stable.
Yeah, he was second in the Standardbred at Delaware. He raced very well there. Just got beat. I mean, he got beat by a good horse too, a horse that tripped out behind him. But you know the way he's been racing, I don't know how he's going to take to the mile track necessarily. He was okay over at Hoosier. Obviously, he raced very well there, but that was against very cheap horses. So we'll see how he does here. I'm curious just because he's been showing these small tracks good miles. He went to Hoosier and faced really cheap horses. He might be a little bit overbet.
Air Force Hanover?
Yeah.
Yeah. No duh. I don't mean to say that in a rough way. I mean to say that in a you will be way. I also feel No Massa More is probably going to be a decent price to the inside. He gets post relief. Mike, what about you? I understand you're kind of fixated on that late pick 4 Mohawk, but if we could just take a little bit of your time. We don't mean to interrupt.
I mean, my problem with it too is, you had the rail at Delaware and got beat at 1-2. I mean, so you want to take a short price on something like that. Be my guest. I don't mind the 1 because he's had terrible posts. He had the 7-hole Pocono no shot, got beat a neck. Then the Keystone Classic at the Meadows 7-hole again. Burke, Jingra, draws well, big track. I think you'll get some value there. I have no problem with that one. I agree on the 6, but I really feel like that horse is going to be bet probably just as much as the 2 is. Just given the connections and the Lexington lines. So I would try to play around with 6 and 1.
Meanwhile, we're going to go back to the Red Mile for tonight. The 9th race, they're post-parading right now. It's the final division of the Art Speak 2-year-old filly pace, $91,000 purse. And if we look at the board, 8-5 favorite to the 4, undefiable. Pretty how you say, I don't know how you say. 7-5 now, though, if that means anything. Prescient Beauty, the second choice, then at 2-1 for the McNairs. This horse rang a bell. It's because she was second. I bet her in the She's a Great Lady. I was too stupid to bet that exacta. Tall Drink Hanover on top, but I don't think it paid much. That didn't pay that much. This show purely serves as me trying to vent through my head all of the bets I haven't made and whether or not they were good. So that's going to be the rest of the next hour, aside from the rest of the Grand Circuit race we're going to talk about. But looking at the board here, I guess starting with you, Rod. God, there's a horse named Annie Hill. God, everyone in racing is so old. Rod, with you. You're looking at the board. We got 3 pretty decisive favorites. Is there any value outside of them?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean,
okay.
Right now, the 4 undefiable, 7-5. That's way overbet in my opinion. I see no reason to be playing that horse at 7-5. Coming off a good race, but I would not be playing that horse at that price ever.
Okay.
Against these.
There's a reason why they're betting the horse, and that's because the horse beat a horse called Powerful Chris, who just got picked off in a gold race about 5 minutes ago at Woodbine from the 9-hole and took a ton of air in that race. This horse, beat a nice horse there. The last 3 races are decent. I think the horse deserves money. That's why. I'm just telling you.
Prescient Beauty should be the favorite now. She is at 6-5. When you're second in the She's a Great Lady, which is the standout race so far of the 2-year-old filly pacing calendar, you should be the favorite. Should be. Unless Tall Drink Hanover's in the race, then she should be the favorite.
Now, what about a horse like J.K. Marty says? I mean, she's coming out of She's a Great Lady. the elimination anyways. Just had no chance there. Got ducked, never moved, and finished right with the pack. I mean, it was basically in behind a wall. And I think she plays. The 6, Prescient Beauty, another one I think is better than Undefiable. And you're getting way better value. Currently 8 to 5 on her. I thought she would probably be bet down to like even money. Just based off of her last couple of lines. I mean, she should be taking money, and she's coming off a huge race, and she's a great lady at good odds there. This is a much softer group, but for my price play in this race, to use in your exotics, the 2 J.K. Marty says.
Annie Hill doesn't seem like rocket surgery to have at 9 to 1. She's coming off decent miles over at Pocono. She has an inside draw. She has speed. 9 to 1's not a bad price on her. But of course, you got to beat Prescient Beauty, who is second in the She's a Great Lady. Gets much better horses. She had a trip, but she's a decent horse. Sometimes trip masks that. 6 to 5. 6 to 5, I still think is low. I wouldn't take her at 6 to 5. But at the same time, outside of that, Undefiable at 5 to 2, not a fan. Maybride Hanover 5 to 1, not a fan. Annie Hill at 9 to 1, even though I say that's a decent price, decent, of course, isn't necessarily infatuation, if that makes sense. I'm not in total love.
What's wrong with the 7?
What about the 7?
What's wrong with the 7? Yeah.
What's wrong with the 7? 11 to 1, okay. Is the 7 horse. Won the Kentucky Sire Stakes Constellation, came home 28 and 2. Ooh, that's slow, okay. Break. Won numbers of 1 at Scioto. They go fast, maybe. But 11
I think she has possibilities.
11
Well,
to 1 still.
the way the front end has been folding up the last couple races, the 7 might be in a good spot. My
I'm
only
curious
issue is
what
the
the draft's going to be on the 9.
What about Sweet Chrome? 22 to 1. Horse sits from off of it. Has had bad posts, so never really got a decent spot. Tossed the race in the Kentucky Annex. They went way too slow and then way too fast at the end.
You could do a lot worse for 20 to 1 there. That's for sure.
Yeah. But at the same time, if I'm looking for a horse to try and beat Prescient Beauty, and I want to go out, and I'm really going out on a limb, Annie Hill's probably the only contender I see now. It's drifting up at 12 to 1. So
I like the 3 better than I like the 1.
I'm gonna
listen right now. Right now, you're getting extreme value. I don't want to say extreme value. You're getting good value on a horse that is fast, as fast as everything in this race, but has issues. The 9 Saint Somewhere.
She also has the 9.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, as I said, I don't know what kind of drive you're going to get from out there, but I would expect one that's, trying to fly early, and that might not be the best.
And she's 8 to 1. She's going down. That to me reads she's probably going to be like 5 to 1 at post time.
Yeah, if she's taking money now, I expect her to keep taking money. And, I mean, she definitely plays here at that price. That's good value, in my opinion. That's very good value.
Well, the wings are open. The starter's calling the field to the gate. The 9th race at the Red Mile. At the very least, I missed calling these races. Could have been calling it Woodstock, but other things got in the way. 4 to 5 favorite, the 6 Prescient Beauty. At 3 to 1, the 4 Undefiable. 5 to 1, the 5 Maybride Hanover. So field of 9 for the final division of the Arts Speak Bluegrass 2-year-old Philly Pace. They're in line, in behind, in motion, and approaching the start. 'Cause 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 They're off and pacing, even start the inside 5, leave out best. Undefiable pushes out from the far outside. Saint somewhere moves for position 2 with Annie Hill from the rail, leaving for the top as they move around that first turn. Annie Hill takes the lead. Undefiable to the outside, rushing by now to try and take control with J.K. Marty says away third and Sweet Chrome back in fourth. Going to that opening quarter, it is Undefiable taking the lead here by about 2 lengths from Annie Hill in second. Opening quarter up in 29 and 1. Third away, J.K. Marty says down the backstretch ahead of Sweet Chrome in fourth. Saint somewhere tucked into fifth and now pulls outside for Gingras ahead of Maybride Hanover's sixth. Prescient Beauty's back seventh then with Cruz and Ali Nui in the back of the pack. Saint somewhere with a backside rush to that half-mile station. Now draws alongside Undefiable, goes by Undefiable, takes a half-length lead and is going to clear to the half-mile station. Maybride Hanover now left uncovered with Prescient Beauty on her back. 56 and 4 the halftime, 27 and 3 that second quarter around the far turn. Gingras tries to slow the tempo, and Saint somewhere has now stride for stride with Maybride Hanover to the outside. Prescient Beauty's third, second over is Undefiable, gaps in the pocket fourth. Third over then comes Cruz from fifth. Annie Hill's been shuffled to sixth as they go on to three quarters. Saint somewhere's a neck in front and is now gaining a bigger advantage in 124 and 327 and 4. Saint somewhere posting fast fractions, but Prescient Beauty kicks off cover and McNair's reeling her in. Here comes Prescient Beauty, the favorite, now alongside Saint somewhere and going by. Annie Hill moves up into third with Undefiable towards the inside, but it's Prescient Beauty kicking away to a length win. Saint somewhere second from Annie Hill third in 151 and 1.
Quite fast.
691, I think 2? 6912? 691, I know. It's the top three.
6912.
151 and 1.
We were right on with that race. We had them all right there.
691.
And my, what did the horse go off at? 40 to 1. Long shot fourth.
Yep. 6912 unofficial. 151 and 1. They say photo for win, even though the horse won by a length.
All the horses we just gave you were like right there. All of them. The 40 to 1, the 8 to 1, the 12 to 1, all right there.
If only we gave them to you in the right order, then maybe we'd be good at what we do. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to continue with the last race at the Red Mile. It's the final division of the Norman Woolworth Memorial. You had 3 to 5, 8 to 1, 12 to 1, and 43 to 1. The top four there, 6, 9, 1, 2 again. The top four in the ninth. At the Red Mile, we'll have the final division of the 2-year-old filly Trot after the break, and then we'll finish up Saturday's Bluegrass and move into Sunday. It's the second hour of North American Harness Update. It's going to be coming up after the break. Happens now.
So I want to thank all of you for letting me come back here to see, what really happens backstage. It's an honor for me to be able to be in front of all of you, especially you and you and you. But I do have to say that there's money on the line out there, and you don't want to go out on the track and do something that seems a little bit iffy, just get that extra check, because it might come back to haunt you a bit later. So clean and fair competition is all I want to see from all you guys, all right? Yes.
Can I pick up a pylon and hold it until the stretch and then throw it to somebody passing me?
That to me does not sound clean and fair. That sounds, in fact, not clean and very unfair, and also kind of inconvenient. So, are you getting off the horse, or... No. Okay. Yes.
Is it all right if you're gonna loop the field and drag your whip in a manner and then flip off the judges or anything?
I mean,
that's not okay.
If the camera doesn't see it, but it doesn't seem like a good idea, because the camera could always keep that. Yes.
Is it okay if I drink this during the race?
No. That can get you pulled over by the horsey police that are following you around the track there. That's a bad idea. That's very unfair, very unclean. I'd check your liver if I were you. Okay, so, yes.
Is it okay to challenge somebody with a foot race after the race?
don't see anything wrong with that. That seems pretty.
What if
it's
he's over 65?
So,
And he has tennis shoes and you have boots?
So he's old and he's not wearing shoes?
But he's from California.
No, he wears tennis shoes. But he's from California.
But if they're tennis shoes and he's from California, doesn't that mean he's like fit and vegan?
Actually, he is.
Then he's definitely clean, and that to me seems unfair for whoever's going against him.
Yeah, because they have boots on.
Look, I just want to see you guys out there racing those horses as fairly as you possibly can. All right. So do we have everyone clear on that? Clean and fair. No drinking and driving. No pylons. No middle fingers. Foot races are okay, but I'm focused more on the horse foot races.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that seems clean and fair to everybody. I feel like that's a no. Someone's hiding something.
Juan, what do you think?
Juan?
¿Cómo estás?
That's tú, Juan.
Oh, that's...
¿Es correcto si pateas el caballo cuando va en la carrera?
Sí.
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 Sí. Yeah.
That sounds clean and fair to me. Go out and do that. Everyone follow his lead, all right? That's what I want to see, okay?
Which is fair.
So we're gonna end this on a chant, all right? Clean and fair.
No.
Clean and fair.
Never.
I'm hooking somebody.
Richmond Hill is the most unaffordable town in the province, according to new real estate numbers. A real estate website published the averages of home prices in municipalities and found York Region has some of the least affordable prices in Ontario. The average house price in Richmond Hill is now just under $1 million, while Vaughan is only $3,000 cheaper. A 13-year-old boy, among other Georgina residents, faced drug trafficking charges. York Regional Police investigated a house in Sutton and found amounts of cocaine, marijuana, scales, and cash. 5 Georgina residents have been charged, including one in his 30s, 3 in their 20s, and a 13-year-old boy. Anyone with information on this case is urged to contact York Regional Police 3 District or Crime Stoppers. A helicopter which crashed in Richard Stouffville belongs to a flight school in North Bay, according to a statement. Essential Helicopters has confirmed the aircraft was theirs, and the pilot who died in the crash was one of their senior pilots. York Regional Police say the helicopter was found on Warden Avenue between St. John's Side Road and Aurora Road on Tuesday afternoon. The forecast, rain on the way, 15. I'll have more news on SRN1. For now, I'm Philip Hong.
Thank you, Phil, and welcome back to more of the Joe Rogan Experience. I am Joe Rogan, joined here by Mike Prebosi and Rod Allums Jr. In the last hour, we talked about the first 3 divisions of the not the Norman Woolworth. We covered the Norman Woolworth of the Western Ideal 2-year-old Colt Pace Bluegrass tomorrow night at the Red Mile. We have one more division of Bluegrass to cover for this evening, live on the show, and then we're going to start talking more about Saturday and Sunday's Bluegrass. We're going to continue on, though, with the Saturday Bluegrass action. Pretty much touched on everything in that 3rd division. The 4th division is the following race number 7, Saturday, September 29th, for those of you who are calendars. And we got another Brian Brown horse working on a mystery. This one trying to get his 4th consecutive win in 4 starts career. Some may say he's trying to stay undefeated. He enters off a 150-3 win and in the Standardbred Stakes over at the Delaware County Fair. He's had a pocket trip, but still, he won the race, has 3 wins to his credit, $33,000 in earnings. And we have another horse here like Blood Money, neighboring him from post 5, off a 2nd place finish the Kentucky Sire Stakes in 149 and 3 had post 10 there, has post 5 tonight or tomorrow night. This looks like a 2-horse race, folks. I'm not sure what more else there possibly could be. Mike, Rod, maybe Fabrice Hanover?
I agree. I think it's between those two on the win end, but
yeah.
You know, it's one of those races. I would pass betting on this race just because those two look like standouts. You're going to get, you know, $4 or $5 exacta payout on this race, so I just don't see any value to be had here.
What's wrong with the 3? I mean, this horse comes out of the Woodbine races. You know, Sports Team came back to win tonight. You know, wasn't the console, but raced okay there. Kicked home 27. You know, has cruise captain Ahab in, you know, its lines. You know, draws well. Should be closing. You know, I would say an outside chance. Maybe not to win the race, but, you know, maybe to split the exact or something like that. I prefer the 5 to the 4. You know, and I don't mind the 3.
I side more with Rod here, and it's probably a race to pass unless you see one that you really like, then bet it. Because if you're betting stuff that you don't like, first off, call someone. Second off, why do you have so much money to just throw away like that? Give it to me.
To us.
Third, what?
We need sponsor money or donations, whatever you want to give us.
No, not us. Me in particular.
No.
And then
F you.
I'll invest it in necromancing. I hear that the stocks on those companies are going to go way up.
No.
After the FBI hearing. 9th race, final division of the Western Ideal. 2 Colt Pace. We got a field of 8 going poster in this one. I'm trying to remember who I wrote about in the preview. For those of you who don't know, I do the Red Mile press releases, and I should be doing the one for the 2-year-old filly trot now, but I'm spread incredibly thin. I'm like Gumby if he was beaten down by a rolling pin. We got Love Me Some Lou off of 153 win in the Liberty Bell Stakes. This horse is 3 for 6 so far this season. There's a couple wins in the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes too. 3-1 on the morning line. Morning line favorite though, the 7 odds on Boca Raton for Tony Alania. This horse coming in off a 155-3 qualifier over at the Red Mile. First time on Lasix this start. Looking back too as a final quarter in 25-3 in a division of the Kindergarten Classic over at the Meadowlands back on July 20th. And aside from that, has not necessarily performed greatly on the Grand Circuit. Was 3rd in a division of the Nasicawea behind Stag Party when he blew away a field. Was 5th then behind Bronx Sealster. Bronx Sealster, of course, won the Battle of Waterloo over at Grand River. And for those of you who don't know, that is a race at Grand River. Some people might
You want to go again tonight, too.
Yeah, he turned out to be a pretty nice little horse.
He's a nice horse.
That Bronx Sealster. Kind of co-opting my peoples a bit, but I don't mind, so long as the check's in the mail. Mike, Rod, either one of you, first things first, odds on Boca Raton's probably going to be the favorite. Hasn't raced in about a month. Concern at all?
Yeah, I wouldn't trust that horse.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he looks like the best horse in the race. But he's getting Lasix, a 2-year-old on Lasix. I've mentioned this before on this show. I do not like that at all.
Why?
It shows me they're very stressed already.
Okay.
So
it's always better to have an answer.
It's one of those things. I just don't like it. When I was training, I didn't have any 2-year-olds on Lasix. I wouldn't race them. I would just lay them off. But I mean, horses like this, you kind of give an exception to because he's a very good horse. But the 8, I'm curious about this horse, Cub fan. Not just because of his name. No, he's coming off of 2 very good races. He's been racing on the smaller tracks, and this is really his first start on a big track. Other than that one start at Vernon in the Sire Stakes. He had a bad night that night. I'll excuse it. I think this horse, if he is fit for the big track, he definitely plays here, and he's got to work out a trip. Obviously, he needs some things to fall his way, but could be a nice value play. I think you're going to get around 10 to 12 to 1 on him.
I still think there's probably some kind of implicit bias going on with you liking a horse named Cubs fan.
Nah.
I just changed up my camera angle because I'm a communications major and I understand that the angle I had before was awful. Mike, did you talk about a horse you like in this race? I lost track. Is there also?
I didn't, but I look. The horse I like a little that I think has a chance is the 5 Black Smile, who's had awful posts. 6 hole at Delaware, no shot. 3 wide around the final turn, ended up kicking to be 4th. 10 hole at Scioto, no shot, ended up 2nd. 6 hole at Northfield, 7 hole at Scioto, 3 and 4 starts back. It's Brian Brown. The horse, he looks the same as the rest of these. Teacher back on, drove the horse last time. You could do worse here. I think you could get a decent price. I don't mind that one.
I'll give you 2 words. Covered Bridge. Coming in off of the New York Sire Stakes. Whenever this horse was on the bigger track, by whenever I mean September 3rd, the only time he was on a bigger track, came from off the pace, flew him in 27-3 to finish 6th, gained 4 lengths in the stretch there. That line tells me that this horse might do very well at Lexington. We'll get on to the filly pace after this race. It's the final division of the 2-year-old filly trot, Norman Woolworth Memorial at Lexington. 10th race, 8-5 favorite, now up to 2-1. The 10 Cloud 9 Fashion, second choice then at 3-1. The 2 Whispering Oaks, third choice at 7-2. The 3 Sisters Promise. We got 3 minutes till post time. First things first, a horse from the 10 hole. That's a 2-year-old trotter and is the favorite. This horse better. Oh, this horse is undefeated. Okay, so there's something along those lines that have to justify this horse being the favorite. Maybe she won a race in 147-2, to which case plunge blue chip, go to hell. But this horse didn't. She never did that. She has a 56 mark over at Tioga. That was her most recent race, and she did that going first over. However, post 10 for a horse that's shown a break, even though she won after making a break. It's a little concerning. It's a little teensy bit of a concern.
Wrestling a 7 is excellent. Excellent in the race.
Lindy Pearl from post 10 to post 7. Finished 7th in the Kentucky Sire Stakes final. You got an 18-1 on that one. Care to elaborate? Because so far I'm not really a big fan of this horse.
I like the connections. 10 hole no shot last time, just sat and kind of kicked home. Gets McNair now. And, the horse has won 2 races prior to that. Should be closer early, and I do think that this horse has a chance, for sure.
Nomo Volo raced well in the Kentucky Sire Stakes consolation from the inside. That was first-time Lasix. And Rod said first-time Lasix on a 2-year-old means that horse is going to be ended up in a pasture.
I didn't say that, but...
I'm paraphrasing, of course. It's
two's obvious.
I'm almost siding with you, Mike, just because I don't really like much else in this race. I was kind of looking at Speed Titan, but I don't like the break last out in the Peaceful Way. And the elimination she raced well. She kicked home in 28-3 to finish 3rd behind Sister's Promise. I'm not a big fan of Sister's Promise either in this race.
Yeah.
It was at least at that price. 7-2. You're getting 12-1 on Speed Titan.
Well, Sister's Promise was awesome 2-back in that elimination.
Was
and
going
prior to
by
that, had no chance 3-back. Then broke last time when making a move.
Was going by him.
I don't.
You're getting woozy. What's it? What are you getting?
Sister's Promise was going by him last time before that break in the Peaceful Way.
Yeah. She's got a lot of talent.
Yeah,
but,
she's extremely fast. She's got to hold it together. That's my top pick in the race. I do like the 6 Windy Corner. 3 wins in a row. Been racing very well and making moves in the last 2 races. First over moves there. Definitely a player here. And 5-2. Yeah, it's a little bit short. but I think the horse deserves to take some money. So, but my top pick is Sister's Promise here.
Wow, it's 7-2.
Yeah. I don't care what a morning line says. That means nothing to me. Because most of these morning lines are done by a computer that is awful. It's like a 1995 computer.
By the way, for those watching, this race is brought to you by Cloverfield. You see, I got some great insight on this next race at the Red Mile. Oh, what was that? I remember people follow me, so I'm getting concerned. I'm a little close there.
Yeah, I'm about to put the race graphic up just to get your face off the camera.
I've been heavily... Look, Rod, you're the one that wanted to branch into TV after I tried so hard to keep this in radio. Oh, if more people watch TV, you can't watch voices. I remember that's exactly how you sounded when we had that conversation. And afterwards I said, Rod, I'm hungry. What's for dinner? And then you said, I think about that all day. And then I said, you shouldn't think about that after you had dinner. It was actually a really great conversation.
Yeah, we had that one like 10 minutes ago.
Lindy Pearl's now 9-1. I know, Mike, you like Lindy Pearl, but 9-1.
I liked it better at 18.
I agree. 18 was much more appealing as compared to 8.
Yes. 8's too low. Too low.
We're getting ready to go.
Going to the gate here.
Final division of the Bluegrass for the evening. And then in about 30 minutes, I'm going to be getting the text, where is the press release? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the kind of harassment I deal with just to put on this show for you. Wings of the Gate are open. My thoughts, Speed Titan at 15-1 is probably an okay price. I see nothing else.
7-2.
Whispering Oaks is the favorite at 5-2, 3-1 on Cloud 9 Fashion. There are the horses. I was worried if there was a race or not. 7-2 on Sister's Promise and
4-1 now.
That's a good price.
The odds have shifted because, as such in parimutuel affairs, people are betting money at the last minute.
4-1, baby.
Whispering Oaks is 2-1 now. Windy Corner on a break before the start.
Boo.
Gapping the field. Stone and Love also on a break. 8 are left in line, in motion, approaching the start. Now they're away. And a trotting Fate Smiled leaves well from the outside. 2 then from the inside comes Sister's Promise. They're 3 wide. Around that first turn as Nomo Volo pushes out from the rail, and Whispering Oaks from between moves out for a top spot. Speed Titan away 4th end of that opening quarter. And then Fate Smiled tucks into 5th. Lindy Pearl is back 6th as they go on to that first panel with Sister's Promise brushing up to take the lead. 2nd away now. Whispering Oaks sits the pocket 2 lengths away. 20-1 the opening quarter. Gap of 2.5. Nomo Volo 3rd. Speed Titan is 4th. Then head of Fate Smiled 5th. Lindy Pearl is 6th with the undefeated, now favorite Cloud 9 Fashion moving outside from 7th. Back then to Conway Kellyanne as they go on to that half-mile station, led here by Sister's Promise. Windy Corner has caught the field in the trailing spot. Sister's Promise, length and a quarter advantage on Whispering Oaks in the pocket. First up comes Speed Titan, now up to be 3rd through a 57 4.5, 29-3 that second quarter. Nomo Volo shuffled to 4th. 2nd up in that flow, Cloud 9 Fashion carried into contention, 3.5 lengths off the lead. Fate Smiled locked towards the rail. They go on to 3 quarters. Sister's Promise, a length leader. Speed Titan draws closer to the outside. Whispering Oaks locked at the rail. Then 2nd up comes Cloud 9 Fashion, kicking 3 wide inside. Nomo Volo then looking for room. Fate Smiled 3 quarters, 127-3, 29-4 that 3rd quarter into the stretch. Sister's Promise still leads the way. Whispering Oaks pops out of the pocket, and Speed Titan gains ground towards the center of the track. Deeper, Cloud 9 Fashion. Whispering Oaks to the inside. Splits horses, takes the lead. Cloud 9 Fashion to the center, rallies home, and is now powering to the front for Miller. And Cloud 9 Fashion going to make it 6 in a row, winning the Norman Woolworth finale. 2nd then looked like Conway Kellyanne at a big price. Speed Titan there too with Whispering Oaks in 150, 5-3. There's your headliner for the 2-year-old filly Trot. 2-year-old filly Pace, I guess. Who is the horse in the second division? Zero Tolerance. Zero Tolerance is the headline for that one. You heard it here first before I even write the stories. Cloud9 Fashion remains undefeated. Charlie Norris getting up for second with Conway Kellyanne. Speed Titan was there. I wasn't wrong. 18-1 got third.
Good job, Chuck Norris.
His name's Charlie Norris.
Chuck.
No, it's spelled Charlie.
Chuck.
Chuck is spelled not Charlie.
I'm calling him Chuck.
Well, I'd hate to break it to you, but do you know how to spell the word idiot?
Chuck.
No, it's spelled R-O-D. Next race we're talking about. I was hoping you'd just say Chuck right after I said that. Kissing in the Sand leads the 3-year-old filly Pace. It's the one division of it on Saturday night. There's no other division Sunday night. There's one division of the 3-year-old filly Pace. Kissing in the Sand has post 8. She's in against 11 other horses. She's just that much better than the rest of them. Is any effort against her futile, even at the Red Mile?
Yes.
That's disappointing.
Well, if you look at it, she just crushed a field of older preferred horses at Woodbine. Prior to that, lost the Shower Play, who just won a gold last I think it was Tuesday night.
Yep.
And she crushed again. And she's about as sharp as a horse as there is anywhere right now. This horse just has too much class. She's better than these horses. Good luck. I'm not going to bet against her. I could maybe see the 7 underneath, but that's it.
Yeah, well, I was going to say Bandstand has not necessarily an outstanding shot, but has the shot.
I don't mind that horse.
I'm trigger happy. Enters off 2 straight wins at Harris, Philadelphia.
Against overnight time.
This still seems like the kind of horse that could do well over this surface.
Yeah, gets back in against 3-year-olds. There's nothing wrong with her either. Draws well. I'm just not that interested because I just feel like that favorite is much too tough for these horses.
I feel like Double A Mint could potentially pop too. This horse has always done better on the bigger track. Comes in off a parked first over effort at Harris and Division of the Liberty Bell, and of course faltered as a result. Draws better this time around. She can get ignored too.
Well, with Double A Mint, I agree with you. The horse is a decent value play here. I don't know if she can win, but she's 0 for 12 on the year, so that hinders my opinion a little bit. But gets Yannick back on. Had a first over try last time, which was obviously not her type of trip. She's going to sit inside, just sit the rail. In this type of race, with Kissing in the Sand being such a huge favorite and obviously the horse to beat, which I don't think they're going to beat her, this is a very good price play to use underneath.
I just want to comment that ever since Jim Campbell has become a fedora guy, he has been on fire. That said, there's no correlation between wearing fedoras and being great at what you do. In fact, I think there's a negative correlation. But I am all on board this new fashion endeavor that Jim Campbell has taken. 10-9-5-2-1, also the unofficial top 5. There was high 5 wagering that last race of the Red Mile. As for me, I've made my peace. Kissing in the Sand, she's proven so far this year she's the best. You just got to look back to that race in the James Lynch Memorial to go, wow, she's all right. But then the Bandstand has usually raced well at Lexington, so she's worth considering. I'm trigger happy has been basically, if Kissing in the Sand and You Are My Candy Girl were not in the division, I'm trigger happy would probably be doing very well. And then Double A Mint is a horse that has just been on my radar, at least back when she was on the bigger tracks in the Shady Daisy and in the Mistletoe Chalet. Other than that, not really much other angles. What? Who? Where?
Still 0 for 12 this year.
Well, when you're in against Kissing in the Sand, you know what? You know how easy it is to be 1 for 13.
Hey, I just said underneath. That's where I like the horse.
I just saved 15% on my car insurance. Move on to Sunday. I got nothing else to add. I said the 3 horses I think. Yeah, the 3 horses that aren't necessarily great.
Sunday's a good card. Let's go.
I'm just not going to say sentences anymore. I was trying to finish my sentence, but everyone's pep, hurry up. I'm caffeinated, and I'm the slow one.
You're always the slow one.
When you're a Zen master like me, you realize that time is a part of you, so you can take up as much of it as you want.
Lies.
Space, too. I purely exist to take up space, nothing else. I said the 3 horses I think are not necessarily great win prospects, but if they're a high enough price, and it's possible because Kissing the Sand could end up going off fairly odds on, it might be maybe we're taking a shot. That's all I wanted to say. It only took me 5 seconds of the 28 minutes we still have left, and we're all still alive. Now I'm going to talk until we die. Live, Laugh, Love is the morning line favorite in the first division of the Cantab Hall. Supergirl O'Reilly also draws in. She's entering off of 2 straight wins. She took the Kentucky Sire Stakes consolation, and right after that, the New York Sire Stakes consolation. She draws post 2. And Ox Fenstead is Fury Road, is a horse that likes to race on the lead, but then give up from post 3. Aside from that, you got 8 horses going postward. Live, Laugh, Love, the morning line favorite. Is she that good? John F. Kennedy asking, is she that good?
Well, I would probably use her as a key horse. I don't know if I would use her specifically to win, just because she doesn't really close every single race. She's kind of hit or miss, the way that goes. She has been good. She hasn't been as good the last month or so as she has been, earlier in the season. So that does concern me a little bit. And, Lexington, 2 starts back was big there in the Sire Stakes. Basically a prep race. Got a soft half and just faded badly on the lead there. Really for no reason. And then came back and raced okay off a cover. So, she can't take any air against good horses is what that's telling me. She's kind of fading, and I don't like that with a horse like her. I'm leaning closer to like Supergirl Riley, the 2. She's been very sharp. She was in that New York Sire Stakes consolation last 2 starts. And 2 starts ago, she was in the Kentucky Sire Stakes consolation, but she's won both of them, and she's just extremely good right now. That win 2 back, 54-3, easy winner. Could have went much, much more there. $250,000 winner this year. Just right now, tough to beat. She's probably about a step above the rest of these, other than maybe the 6, but I like her much better than the 6, and you're getting better value.
I feel like we're all in consensus on Supergirl Riley.
Agree.
Yeah, she's the obvious counter contender. Not only that, she's going to get the trip. And if the track is still playing the way it has been so far, don't take any of the speed. What are you, nuts? What are you, drunk? The race after is a late closer, but then the next Bluegrass is the 7th race Sunday afternoon, where Metz Hall enters off a 2nd place finish in the Canadian Trotting Classic. This horse, of course, also 2nd in the Hambletonian final.
Wait, where did he finish in the Zweig, and who picked him? Who picked him? Everybody. We all picked Metz Hall in the Zweig.
Well, Rod,
we're going to live off of that for a long time.
Rod, I was trying to be more subtle about it, but your boisterousness is, of course, always welcome.
Let's not
Metz Hall, aside from him, You Do, Tactor's freshman star, hasn't really shown as brightly as he did last year. As a matter of fact, he's kind of had some problems. Broke in the Canadian Trotting Classic, 5th in the Simcoe, has Tactor aboard, most likely to figure out what in the heck the HECK is going on with that horse. Aside from him, Fashion Woodchopper, a horse that did really well here at this meet last year, back after doing not so well this year. And then Evaluate, the horse who I bet in the Hambletonian Future Pool that ended up being a giant piece of crap, coming off a 3rd place finish in the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes Championship, but has not raced since. That basically covers the field with a couple of other extraneous horses. There's Taekwondo. He won a condition race here. This was Tactor's shipper from foreign land, Sweden area. But Metz Hall, Mike, I feel like you're guns to the buns on this horse.
Well, I mean, he's the best thing going right now in this division, I feel. He got picked off by Crystal Fashion, who raced extremely well that night, albeit from the 10-hole, was driven absolutely perfect. This horse was game to the wire. He's faster. He's just better right now. He's lightly raced, so, you know, these later races this year should be no problem for him. He controls the race. You know, I feel like the 2, just because he does have an affinity for the racetrack, he gets the bigger track, which is what he wants. You know, he didn't race badly in the Hambo, especially in the Elim. I mean, it kind of, you know, fell his way, but, you know, was racing well in the final also prior to the break. You know, I like the draw for him. I like his class for sure. You know, and he's going to be a little bit hidden off those last 2 lines. You know, I don't care that he was, you know, 1-20 in that race. You know, I feel like he was a little misdriven there. You know, he plays here. I wouldn't get too awful excited about the race, but I would probably be like a 7-2 type Code Exacta.
And if you are, I understand why you're not getting excited. This race could end up being incredibly interesting if Metz Hall somehow loses. And of course I do mean somehow. I think I shamed Mike. I didn't mean it like that. Come, bring that pretty face back here, Mike. Rod, your boy Taekwondo. You bet this horse in the future pool, and he didn't even go into the Hambletonian. But looks like a decent contender in this race. Off of that win at the Red Mile, went 54-4. Didn't have to go faster. Got a nice little tightener mile in. Raced really well in the Donnie Drazen. Or the Dennis Drazen Hambletonian day, and he tossed the race in the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes. I don't think there's anything wrong with Taekwondo.
No, he's definitely a value play here. You get Dexter Dunn to drive him. Again, you know, last time he made that first over move, he just sat outside is what he did. He was racing easy. He drew away from him late, never had to ask him. A huge back half there. He's definitely ready. I think he probably goes 52 again tomorrow. You've seen 52 out of him previously. If he can get, what's the word I'm looking for? If he can get
good,
no, he's good right now. That's the thing. If he can get
better,
the right setup, I guess is how I'm trying to word it. The setup is going to be key for him. He's got to follow cover. And he has to get a trip and get drug up to the 3/4 pole. If he can't do that, then I don't see him getting there. But I think Fashion Woodchoppers is a decent play here. The only concern, he's missed 4 weeks, so that obviously is going to be an issue for me. I hate horses off of a long layoff like that.
You heard it here first. Rod hates horses.
Yeah. Metz Hall's the horse to beat, obviously. Just short price. He's extremely sharp right now. Tough to go against.
There's one. Well, what about Fleet Admiral? All right, this is a Tactor horse entering off 4 straight wins, each better than the last over at Harris, Philadelphia. Full brother to Ariana G. Entering off those 4 straight wins.
Late bloomer.
Moves to the bigger track. Comes to Lexington. There's nothing wrong.
There's nothing wrong, but Draw's probably the best horse in the division right now, so good luck. You know?
All right, that's exactly what Goliath said before David cut his knees off.
You know what? I would use the horse because Yannick picked this horse over You Know You Do. And
I wonder why. It's not like that horse stays flat.
Well, You Know You Do is the fastest horse, I think, in this entire division. He's just not
I don't think there was much of a choice. I don't think there was much of a choice. Tactor tends to jump on these horses that are showing problems.
But
so
at the same time, I do agree with you. The 6 Fleet Admiral in this race, definite possible sleeper. I think he's going to take a little bit of money, though.
Has to with that pedigree alone.
Yeah.
Or not. That's also an option because Metzall's in the race too. We move on to the first division, the second division, of the Cantab Hall 3-year-old filly trot, where we have Nixie Volo entering off a 151-2 victory in the Kentucky Sire Stakes final. We have Hey Blondie, a horse for Chuck Sylvester that was coming into the Hambletonian Oaks in decent form. Ended up finishing 4th in the final there behind the big 3 fillies, Manchego, Fatosive, Plunge Blue Chip. Atlanta was somewhere else that day. I can't recall where. They also have Top Expectations drawing inside. This horse had the rail in all 3 of her last starts. I feel like she scratched from the 9. The personal scratch from the 9 hole was that Irv was offended that she drew the 9 hole after all those ones. Now she gets the 1, so I'm assuming she's going to draw again, or race again. And she got shuffled out of contention, came back, finished 6th, but she's also probably going to take money off that race as she was the favorite in the final. That said, those are the big 3. Is there anyone outside of that plays in this race? I know SMS Princess did decently in this meet last year. She's 10-1.
I like her a little bit. SMS Princess. Svanstedt, he gets these things ready for this meet. I mean, his horses always seem to be better on the big track, and this is one of those races that he's kind of sneaky from an outside post, and I think maybe if he can get up close like he likes to do, he likes to leave with everything, so if he can get up close and not get pressed too hard early on, which I don't think he will in this field, he definitely plays here and is going to be very good value with Nixie Volo likely being sub-even money.
I was looking at this one horse that was kind of intriguing me, the 3 Pat Matters for Paul Kelly. I was about to ask Paul if he's talking about Pat Buchanan, but no, the owner is Patricia Stable. I think it's much funnier if he's talking about Pat Buchanan, just because of how antiquated this sport is. Why can't they digitize these horses? That would make things a lot better. I think that'd bring all the kids in. And free alcohol, too. Pat Matters has been interesting to me, though. Closed really well. Don't raise your hands like that, Rod. Just
free alcohol.
Pat Matters closed really well in the Sire Stakes. Kicked him in 26-3 to get second. I don't know if that means this horse is going to take a lot of money, because how often do you see a 3-year-old filly trotter kick home in sub-27 and then go off at 5-1 in her next start? I don't really think that often. But she does have a class disadvantage. She's in against Hey Blondie, Top Expectations. Mike, for you, I guess 2 things. Is this horse kind of on your radar? And if not, who is?
I don't mind that just because the last 2 races are very good. I feel like the horse is improving. Likes this racetrack. Hard to fault that. The race at the Meadows wasn't horrible. And I think the horse gets a setup here, too. I mean, there's a lot of horses that like to go. I think Hey Blondie's more than interesting, just given her class. I mean, was 5-1 against Manchego last time. There's really no Manchego in here. Was a neck away from Fatosive there at the Meadows in a race that horse completely dominated. Go back and watch that replay. That horse raced extremely well that day. I like that line. I like this horse getting back to the big track. As long as she stays flat, I think she's going to be very tough. I don't mind the 3, just on like what you said and the fact that she's improving. I like that 26-3 kicker, especially the way the track is played. I mean, that's a huge race. Could she regress off of that? That's possible. And then the 7 is interesting, only given that, she's beat Hey Blondie a couple times. So, and has been in with her. And you're going to get a price. The connections are solid. The question is how's the speed going to be that day? So that would be my thoughts. 2-3-7.
Ninth race is the second division of the Explosive Matter 3-year-old Colt Trot. Tactical Landing, Wolfgang, 2 for Tactor. Draw post 3 and 2 respectively. Zephyr Kronos, then another entry for Tactor as post 8. You also get horses like Classic Chap, a horse we saw Hambletonian Day, who showed a lot of speed and then gave up. By gave up, I mean someone took him out of the race. He's 6-1 on the morning line. Eurobond, this horse upset in the Kentucky Sire Stakes final with the addition of Lasix at 11-1. He's 9-2 on the morning line. And then our boy Missile Hill, who just does not want to seem to win anything ever, is also in this race at 12-1 from post 4. A lot of options in this race, but of course it comes down to Tactical Landing and Wolfgang. And of the two, Tactical Landing is supposed to win this race.
Wait a minute. Back toward Hambo Day, you were not even close to playing Tactical Landing. I was on him at 6-1 in the elimination. I was on him again in the final, and he just couldn't get there.
What does that have to do with
nothing to do with anything. Who cares?
Ooh,
now all of a sudden, you're all over this horse.
2 months ago because you won a bet.
No. I'm saying this because 2 months ago I mentioned that this horse would be
nobody cares.
Way better at Lexington. Now Ray's like, oh, I'm jumping on the bandwagon with Rod.
Wait, way better at Lexi. This horse is about the same as he's been at every other racetrack.
No, he actually wasn't as good earlier in the year. He was sneaky.
He just lost the final at 3-5 last time, and she's so good. I don't know what's.
He was first over.
Doesn't matter. To be dominant, then you win that way.
He got beat by a horse that got a 2-hole trip.
So that's okay. You got to overcome that if you're a monster. 2 months ago, this horse was going to be a monster. What happened?
He is a monster. He's made $250,000 this year.
Not $1 million like Metz Hall. Okay.
Metz Hall hasn't made $1 million, but yeah.
Metz Hall is 100,000 away from $1 million.
Not this year.
Yes, he is.
No, he made $600,000 this year.
You're answering the wrong question. Look, I don't care. You could have been coming from Kingdom Come with this horse. It could matter less to me. I say he's supposed to win because he was second in the Kentucky Sire Stakes final. He was the favorite last out. He was the favorite to start before that. The favorite to start before that. That horse takes a lot of money. So that makes me think he's supposed to win. Not only that, Wolfgang just sucks. Wolfgang has been off form the last couple of starts. I'm not necessarily sure the lead is his place to be, or first over, or in a race necessarily, but I think that's getting a little harsh. That said, someone got an email, and it's probably from our producer saying we're canceled. What's wrong with Classic Cap? What's wrong with Classic Cap? I don't think there's anything wrong with Classic Cap at all. Kicked home 27-1 in the final, finished third. Kicked home better than most horses in the final did. That race on Hambletonian Day in the elimination is great. I could care less how he performed in the final. Then the Zweig, he was disadvantaged, outside post, from off the pace. When they went that slow, he's not going to do anything. He at least kicked home.
You're going to get a huge price on that horse. I don't know. I like the 5 just because, he responded to Lasix, did get a trip, but, that was a giant improvement there. The horse could improve again, and, he's going to get a trip again. So he's the price. I don't mind Missile Hill just because had no chance at Woodbine last time. Raced okay in the Simcoe, off a fair trip. He's okay, and I like McNair getting on. That could be an interesting horse at a price.
I mean, McNair's been on this horse on and off most of the season, but I agree with you. If there's another sleeper in this race, Missile Hill definitely could pop here at Lexington, especially since he seems to be racing better now than he was earlier in the season. He's just starting to get into form.
And the 3 could win the race very easily. I mean, but he's going to be the chalk.
But the only reason he's going to win is because 2 months ago, Rod said this horse was a monster.
Because Rod was on him.
Yeah.
I'm still. Exactly. When I was writing up the preview, I almost put Tactor's supposed speedster, just because I still doubt this horse can break 50. But you're not supposed to editorialize the news. Not only that, I wanted my check. I didn't want to get fired after how many years I've been doing this gig. God bless the Red Mile. I love all of you. Why can't I call these races?
I do like Tactical Landing again, but I agree. I think the 6 Classic Cap has a shot here. Should be decent value, and we'll be looking to follow cover in here. You're not going to see a trip like you saw over at the handball elimination where he went to the lead, but he's been racing well. He's back in form. I like what he's doing recently, so I would probably use this horse and definitely make some tickets with him, spread all over, just because I think if he gets the right trip, he has a shot to get there.
Stay Hungry fronts the 10th race. It's the first division of the Sun Beach somewhere. This is after going racing in the jug elimination, interfering with Hayden Hanover, then going inside a couple pylons. It was disqualified to 4th. And Tony Alani said, you know what? I'm kind of sick to my stomach. I think the churro stand is something wrong with it. I'm going to scratch this. Oh, also, he is post-date. I don't want to race him from post-date. I got bigger, better things to do. So then he scratched from the second heat of the jug final. Comes in here, draws post 2, inside of his stablemate American History, entering off a victory in the Kentucky Sire Stakes Championship as the odds-on favorite. For some reason, the morning line is American History is the favorite. That's stupid, especially if you know Stay Hungry and you know how good he is on a big track like I do and like Mike does as well. Aside from that, Grant Teens have been interesting, but he's not going to be as great of a price as he was Kane Pace Day. Coming off a third-place finish in the Kentucky Sire Stakes final. He set off the pace, came home, finished third in 26-1, and he's 9-2 on the morning line. Those are the main 3 in this race. If there's anyone else outside of that, by all means, theorize away. But Stay Hungry is going to be tough to beat.
I have nothing to add to this.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add. I agree Stay Hungry is going to be tough to beat. He loves the big track, and very unfortunate set of events over at Delaware last time, but, that at least got him, he skipped the final there, so it at least got him a good race coming into this one here.
And I'd be looking at Decoy underneath for exotics from that outside post. He can kick home as good as any of them, and better than some of them, but not as good as others. But just well enough to get there. That's really why I think he's an underneath horse. And Grant Deaton too. That horse makes sense. American History though. Do you guys think that maybe he could best his stablemate? Because he's been racing really well at Lexington.
He likes this racetrack. I mean, he's been, his style has switched too. He kind of sits a little early and then, he grinds. And, that served him quite well. 26-1, 26-2, 26-3 last 3. And usually Stay Hungry needs a trip too.
But Stay Hungry in that race in the Simcoe was gigantic. He did not give up.
Well, I mean, look at his race at Delaware.
That was a light race in a short field.
Look at the race at Delaware, though. I mean, he went right to the front. You look at his race 3 back in the Messenger.
They wiped out half the field.
Well, I mean, you know what I'm saying. I mean, he's versatile enough that I don't think the trip. He's not dependent on a trip anymore. I thought beginning of the year, I agree with you. He was 100% dependent on a trip, but now he's kind of developed a little bit more. I think he's on the right track to, he's one of those horses now that he can do what he wants and still get there against anything, really. I'm not a fan. I mean, none of us really. I think I can speak freely for all of us here. None of us are a huge fan of American History, but he's done a lot to prove us otherwise, especially recently. I'm just not big on this horse. I don't think he's going to get his type of trip against these.
I wish I owned him.
And the wish I owned him angle is a great handicapping angle, to be honest. There's so many horses I've bet and won on where I just went, oh great, I wish I owned this horse, even though he's made like $20 lifetime and he paid $160 to win, and then he falls down.
Can't go fast enough, I gotta say. I mean, they really can't go fast enough.
This race might go 47 in a piece.
Why stop there? I think they're going to go 43 and 2.
They're going to get down there in 53 and change.
Fast enough.
They're definitely getting down there in 53.
Nah. I'm not even going to theorize that. That's so much out of my level of care. I have my contenders. I'm going to play them that way. I'm not betting on how fast they're going to the half. There's no odds line saying, it's 5-2, they go 54 to the half.
We can
it's
make
8-1
it.
We can make 53. If there was, I might be a bit more interested.
We can make them. Email me.
The next race is the Cantab Hall. Fatosive races from Post 2. The final division is the 12th race. Sun Beach somewhere. Final division of Sun Beach somewhere. The final division of the Bluegrass altogether on Sunday. It's the 12th race. Think Big, Dream Big leads the field from Post 2. He's the 9-5 morning line favorite. He made his first start with Lasix last out and finished second. And that must be a big kick, or like a big kick in the gut to a trainer. You add Lasix, it's supposed to help your horse with their issues, and they still don't win. That must... I'm sympathizing with Tactor strongly right now. Not to say I have experience with creatures needing Lasix to improve their performance. That's kind of that. I guess I have like a distant relationship to that. And then there's other horses in this field like Nutcracker Sweet, who can only be described as a disappointment. This horse looked really good early in the season, but he kind of leveled off either because he didn't have racing luck or mostly racing luck, bad positioning, bad posts, bad lots of things. I'm a Big Deal, raced well here last season. He's coming off 2 straight wins for Chris Ryder. Babes Dig Me has been racing under the radar so far in this 3-year-old division. But, of course, they all have to beat Think Big, Dream Big, and, of course, Hayden Hanover. And if you have a 4th-place finish in the Jug Final, this horse raced really well, moves to the bigger track, and has raced well all season.
Yeah, he had a lot of pace late in that Jug Final. I thought he raced extremely well. Coming off of that, the only concern, obviously, is that he's not getting a lot of days rest in between those 2 starts. But, with his type of racing style, I think he's going to just sit there. And next week would be the week they really press him.
Yeah, he's not going to move. He's just going to get in the pocket. And he's
going
to
to sit the rail.
I'm going to take a little nap.
Yeah, he'll sit the rail. He'll get away close and just sit there. But I think he's a decent player here. Think big, dream big. Obviously, is going to be the chalk here. Deservingly so. I mean, he looks a little bit better than everything in here right now. So expect him to just go right to the lead and not look back. Tough race for him to get beat in.
Watch out for I'm a Big Deal, I'm telling you. 2 straight wins at Harris Philadelphia, wire to wire from post 8 on an off track. This horse came flying home in 27-1 to finish 5th in the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes Championship at Pocono Downs. Last season, his season's best. At one point, his lifetime mark at Lexington. This horse is dangerous. This horse, use with caution, or not use with caution. Beware with caution. Outside contender. That's where I stand. And I also stand right here. But now I'm going to sit down because we only have 1 minute left. Mike, your thoughts?
Sorry, I'm going to fill in here right in a second, so I don't know.
Okay, Mike's is busy.
Not playing this race.
Yeah, Mike is busy trying to shove a bottle of Prilosec down his throat. That does it for us tonight. If anything, you might also want to get some Pepto-Bismol and a beer bong and go ham. That's really the worst way to take Pepto-Bismol. College is really doing awful things to me. I can't believe I pay so much money to just use these terrible phrases and to entertain people that, quite frankly, I probably would never associate with. That's just because I'm better than them. I've been Ray Catolo. He's Mike Prebosi. He's Rod Allums Jr.
Yep.
We're back. Oh, calm down, Rodney. We're back here on North American Harness Update with our regular shows. We have postponed our London show Saturday or Friday, October 5th. We're postponing it to a date to be announced. We had some logistical concerns, including the fact that I'm working the Red Mile, and quite frankly, I thought I wasn't spreading myself thin enough, but it probably was for the best that we postpone. We'll announce that date when we have it. We also have our Breeders' Crown show next October, next month in October. Actually, almost a
You're
month from now.
You're forgetting the big show.
But
Next
you know,
weekend.
Ron, it really makes for great radio when two people talk at the exact same time. You get so many more words fit into one period that it's twice the content, really. Breeders' Crown show, October 26th at Pocono Downs. Pretty sure it's the 26th, the finals night. But mark that in your calendar. Just check the website, NAHUpicks.com, alongside NAHUpicks.com. You're checking the website. Also check it for daily racing analysis, or racing analysis every race day, for Woodbine Mohawk Park and now Western Fair, as they are opening back up Monday. Rod will cover that. Mike, of course, always covers Woodbine. I also saw Mike's picks were up tonight at Woodbine Mohawk Park. We definitely thank Woodbine Mohawk Park for their continued support of the show and of the website as well.
No show next Friday?
We're at regular show next Friday.
No.
Is that what you said?
No.
No.
We have a show on Sunday from the Red Mile.
That's right.
That's right.
You guys are doing that. I will be busy covering the Red Mile and also trying to get my diploma. So I'll be doing those things. These two, I'm leaving you in great hands, and at the very least,
with Ken Terpenning from Harness Racing Replays.
I'll just say palms that are capable. Ken Terpenning, he joined us at Running Aces in September. September being this month. It doesn't feel like September. Oh my God.